Right, I might live to regret this. It is the Teenage Engineering Computer 1, which is a flat pack mini-ITX case, which I've had mixed reviews about online. Some people love, I love the look of it. Everyone should love the look of it. But building it is a bit of a pain. Let's get all these bits out. Right, here we go. So what we've got here, we've got handles, they go on top. We've got the power switch. This is why I liked it. Oh, one of the reasons I liked it. It's got a cool little switch to turn it on and off. Actually, probably just on. Front I/O, USB-C, and all the pins for the motherboard. This is the side case, so that's where the case fan will go. Think twice, bend once. Yes, two right. So here's another piece, for example. This is what you need to do. You need to bend these down. You've got the four corners. Bend all the bits where you need to bend them. And then you put it together. I'm going to do that off camera, because that would be quite boring to watch. This is the bit you only remove if you're using a GPU. I'm not going to use a GPU because you can barely fit one in. You're very limited with what GPUs you can use. So I'm not actually going to use it as a gaming PC. It's just going to be a standard PC for me. That may change in future, but for now, no GPU. So there's the first bending done. Not pleasant. I thought it could have been better, could have been worse. I mean, I probably need to straighten it out a bit, but I'm going to wait until it's finally ready to go together as one. If you're doing bends, where's one where you just have to bend half of it, for example? Let's have a look. This one, for example, just a half bend like that, or you can put it against the table and bend it, that's fine. The issue, getting that was a bit of a pain. You're just doing it, constantly worried that it's going to snap, but it didn't, so we're all good. The next step, I actually skipped a step, but I can't actually put a motherboard in yet because the CPU hasn't arrived, and by the sounds of it, it's a nightmare to open up again once it's done. So make sure everything's ready on the motherboard before you install it. So here's the motherboard with the little mounts ready to go. I'm just going to wait for my CPU to arrive, pop that on, connect the case fan, which must go on that one, and then I'll carry on. This, actually no, this is the side, so this is the case fan. So this one must be for the PSU intake. So it takes SFX, is it? So it's not your standard ATX size, it's the SFX power supply, a little bit smaller, but still easy to find. So that's what must go here. I might do that now. And the rest of it, once the motherboard's ready, like I said. Does look nice though, doesn't it? Oh, one thing before I forget. A lot of people complain that these holes for the screws aren't, what's the word, tapered? They aren't pre-drilled. So Teenage Engineering recommend doing that first. So that gives me something to do while I wait for my CPU. Get those all pre-drilled, and hopefully that'll make the next step a lot easier. Right, so the CPU has arrived. I've popped that in. I've used a Thermalright connector. I don't recall a Thermalright plate, is it? Just to make it look a bit tidier. I'm just trying to make it as, well, just reduce as much stuff in there as I can. So while I was waiting, I put this together. So I've put the PSU in. I haven't followed the instructions exactly. I've done it in a different order. But it's getting there. The case fan is on. So the case fan, the screws that came with the case I couldn't use. But luckily I had these longer screws which are fine, so keep that in mind. Here's the top with the handles. Handles are on. Folds are all done. Folds are easy. The only tricky bit of the folds, like I said earlier, was this front bit here. All the rest, because of the weak points I put in, it folds exactly where you want them. But yeah, this bit was tricky. I think if I had a metal ruler or something like that, it would have made it easier, but you live and learn. Keep that in mind. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put the CPU cooler on here, and then we'll move on to the next step. Right, case fan is on. This Noctua one, it doesn't have a back plate, so you have to screw directly into the back. A lot of people said it was easier. I found it a bit of a pain getting it perfectly lined up, but that's all done now. So now we just need to plug the case fan in, which is that one. Couldn't figure out which way to put the cable, but it would only really fit this way because you see it's so cramped around here, but I mean that's all right. And then this one's a chassis fan. Right, let's get this mounted onto the board. All right, there it is on the board. So it gives the little spacers for airflow. You use the same screws that, well, I don't know, it seems to be the same screw for everything, or most things. It is it's a star, you probably can't see that. It's a star screw though. They include this little screwdriver, but it is a pain to use. So if you have your own one, I'd recommend using that. So that's everything on the motherboard. CPU's in there, fan, M2 drivers here, and RAM is here. On to the next step. Well, these pin connectors all came together, but it says in instructions rip apart because 4 are for the power LED and the power switch, and these 3 are for audio, and they plug into completely different parts of the motherboard. So, and there's also one spare, which isn't needed, so you can pull that off completely and separate these two. So there are the pins for the LED and the power, and the audio is down here somewhere, so let's get those connected now. So there are the pins for the audio. The pins for the audio, the labelling's a bit weird. On the pin cables that they give you, it's just 3 letters on them, T, R and S. I had to look it up. T is the left channel, R is the right channel, and S is ground. I don't know why it couldn't just say L, R and G, but there you go. They're all connected. What's next? I think this is probably the stage where I realised I should have followed the instructions and put this side one on last. So this is the one that comes off when you need to change things out. I just wanted to move things along a bit quicker, so I've put it on now. I think it's going to make this next step a bit tougher, but we'll see. Okay, side panel in, starting to take shape. I mean, look at that for space. It's already pretty cramped, and you would have to put a GPU here, which, I mean, I guess there is still a bit of space for airflow, but it's going to have to be a very small GPU to the point where I don't think it's worth it. I bought a decent motherboard. It's basically a gaming motherboard that I'm not going to be used for gaming, with DDR5 RAM, etc. If I do change my mind and decide to start using this one for gaming, I don't think it'll be in this case. I'll probably get a different ITX case, maybe like a fractal design. It's called the Ridge, I think, or the Terra, T-E-R-R-A. Small, decent looking cases, still pretty small, just a little bit bigger than this, so you have more options when it comes to the GPU. Right, yeah, don't do what I did and not follow the instructions. I've had to take the side plate off to get in. Make sure everything is connected to the motherboard first, and make sure you follow the instructions, and don't be a typical man like me and just try and do it in a random way. I mean, they're in, but I'm sure we could get better connectors, couldn't we, for that? Right, so back to the instructions. Let's follow it this time. Attach front plate and test. Well, I've already done that. Do I want to test it, or do I have belief? I have belief. Let's just put it on. So the top goes on now. Oh, one thing I forgot. This little black paper ring. Let me find it. So this thing came with it, and I thought, what's that for? But it just goes over here before you put the top cover on. I'm guessing it just protects it from scratches or unnecessary noise, or I'm not sure exactly, but keeps it in position maybe. But let's not forget to put that on. Right, is everything connected? Final thought? Yeah, everything's connected. This goes through there. Oh god, it really does feel rickety rackety before you put it on. Let me just turn it around so I can screw it in. Side panel, and that's it. Let's get this on. And this is where I find I've got a screw missing. Oh no. Just realised I've forgotten something. Knew I'd forget something. Front I/O for the USB-C. Forgot to put it in. So, luckily it's easily reachable from here to get onto the motherboard, but not so much for getting to the front of the case. Right, well, as you can see, I've had to open it up again. I forgot the let's see it here. Front I/O for the USB-C. So just goes back to my point. Make sure you read the instructions. It says think twice, bend once. Read twice. Read the instructions twice as well. But I think we're there. So I'm just going to put these side panels back on for a second time. All right, there it is. Finished. Let's see if we can get a better view. So that's a Noctua case fan. The rear I/O, very neat without a GPU in there. SFX power supply on the bottom. Nothing at all on that side. So here it is from the front. How's those bends looking? Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that. Headphone jack, USB-C, power switch. It's good. Oh, to turn it on. And carry cases. Noctua fan here. That's an intake and there's no mesh on it, no filter. So I'll keep on my eye on the dust, see what happens. Rear I/O without a GPU there. That's where the GPU would go, but look how neat it is without that. That might change, but we'll see. SFX power supply. Everything you need. You can see inside it. Hopefully, well, I don't know what thermals will be like, but I mean, air should get out pretty easily. So we've got an intake there, and an intake there from the PSU. That exhausts out here, and hopefully this intake, with the CPU cooler that you can't see pushing air away, hopefully it all just comes up and out the top. But yeah, I'll let you know. If you have any questions, let me know. Actually, let's see if it boots. Right, there it is. Connected to a PC, monitor I mean. The real question is, let's see if the switch is on at the back. The real question is, does the orange beast boot? I hear the fans. I see a light from the motherboard. This power light's not on. Maybe, don't tell me I have to open it again to reconnect it. That might have been what the dodgy noise was actually, maybe, because I'm sure the light LED's going to be poking through there. Anyway, should you buy it? Good question. Do you like building PCs? Then yes. Did you like FX models as a kid, or still do? Then yes. I mean, it's good fun. I bought it fully in the knowledge that I'd probably not like it, but enjoy the process, and that probably sums it up alright. Having said that, no, I do like it. I mean, it looks great. Do I wish it would fit a bigger GPU in? Yes. I always feel like they should do two models. One designed for those who don't want to use a GPU, so it's even smaller. It could be down to about here. And one for people that do want to use GPUs, and then it could be a bit bigger. Maybe the computer too will be a bit bigger so you can fit a GPU. But there we go. It's on, and it's not booting. So that's wonderful. If you have any questions while I try and get this to work, let me know. Well, here we are, back to square one. Remember when I said, should I test it before closing it all up? And I thought, nah, it'll be fine. It wasn't fine. Luckily, it was an easy fix. The RAM just needed reseating. Crazy. The trouble with this is you can't easily get to the motherboard. It all really needs to come apart. So, yeah, test it first before putting it together. Right, finally, it's all back together again. So, the moment of truth. Let's see this switch one more time. Nice. So you can just see the motherboard LED there goes red or amber. I mean green or amber, I can't tell. And then that should stay like that and not start flashing. Yeah, it goes, and then there's a white light, and then it goes back to green. And that means it's all good. And there we go. Panic over. I just need to install Windows now and we're all done. Right, I feel like I know this inside out now. So if you have any questions, do let me know. What I would say is, like they say, think twice, bend once. Although I didn't find the bending the issue. Taper those holes, make screwing a bit easier. Get a metal ruler for the folding. Have fun. Don't lose any screws. Although I think it comes with a couple of spares for each, but yeah, you want to be careful with that. And think twice, act once. I think that's what I'd say. Right, thank you. See you later.